Hello everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Grab your drinks, sit back, and get ready, because today's story is one of the most shocking, jaw-dropping moments in the 90-day fiancé world. Yes, I said shocking, and yes, I promise you, by the end of this episode, you're going to have your emotions all over the place. We're talking about Jasmine. Yes, Jasmine, the woman who has been the center of so much drama, love, heartbreak, and controversy, and the revelation that she has a second husband. And poor Gino, he is absolutely devastated, and honestly, who can blame him? Now, before we get into the main event, let's rewind a little. For those of you who are newer to the story, Jasmine and Gino's relationship has been a roller coaster from day one. From the very first time we saw them together, there was chemistry, yes, but also tension. There were moments of pure love and connection, but also misunderstandings, arguments, and emotional distance that made viewers everywhere question whether they were truly meant to be. Let's start with Jasmine. If you've followed her journey, you know she is fiercely independent, incredibly passionate, and sometimes unpredictable. She speaks her mind, she follows her heart, and she doesn't shy away from making bold decisions, even if they shock everyone around her. And while Gino has always loved her, his nature is more cautious, more reserved, and sometimes that clash in personalities has led to heartbreak and tension on multiple occasions. Now, fast forward to the events leading up to the revelation of her second husband. The past few months have been a whirlwind. Jasmine's social media was buzzing with hints, cryptic posts, and mysterious photos that left fans speculating. Was she moving on? Was there someone new? And Gino, poor Gino. He tried to stay positive. He tried to focus on their bond, but deep down, he couldn't ignore the subtle signs that something was changing. The real drama began when Jasmine decided to be open with the cameras. In a private, emotional confession, she admitted that she had met someone else. Someone who had entered her life unexpectedly. Someone who made her feel emotions she thought she had already given to Gino. And here's the kicker. This was not just a fling or a short-term romance. No, this was serious. This was her second husband. And yes, Gino had absolutely no idea. The revelation hit like a thunderbolt. Imagine the shock, the betrayal, the mix of emotions swirling through Gino's mind. Fans watching the show live could feel his heartbreak, his confusion, his disbelief. He kept asking, "Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you give me a chance to understand?" And Jasmine, well, Jasmine was firm, emotional, and yet strangely calm. She knew in her heart that she had made a choice that she had to follow through with, regardless of the consequences. Now let's talk about the second husband, because this is where things get really interesting. He is described as someone completely different from Gino. Where Gino is careful, sometimes hesitant, and highly thoughtful, Jasmine's new partner is bold, adventurous, and unafraid to take risks. He brought a new energy into her life, something that Gino, despite his love, couldn't quite offer. And this contrast, this dynamic, is what made Jasmine's decision both understandable and heartbreaking at the same time. The social media reaction was instantaneous. Fans were divided. Some supported Jasmine, saying she had the right to move on and find happiness. Others criticized her for keeping secrets and breaking Gino's heart. The comments ranged from, "We can't believe this," to, "Gino deserves better," and even Jasmine, "You should have told him sooner." The discussion exploded across Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, with memes, reaction videos, and passionate debates taking over the internet. Back to Gino. Watching him try to process the situation was like watching someone slowly realize their world has shifted. He looked hurt, confused, and honestly, heartbroken. You could see in his eyes that he was questioning everything. The past moments he shared with Jasmine, the promises they made, and the future he had imagined. And yet, despite the pain, there was also a sense of resignation, a quiet understanding that sometimes life takes unexpected turns that are beyond our control. Let's not forget the family and friends who had to weigh in. Some of them tried to comfort Gino, offering support and encouraging him to focus on his own happiness. Others were conflicted, unsure how to react, and some were openly critical of Jasmine's decision. This mix of support, advice, and judgment added another layer of complexity to an already emotionally charged situation. Now, for the fans of 90 Day Fiancé, this moment was monumental. Reality TV thrives on drama, suspense, and emotional revelations, and this one checked all the boxes. It had everything: heartbreak, betrayal, mystery, and the tension of an unknown future. Every scene leading up to Jasmine revealing her second husband was carefully crafted, building suspense, showing Gino's vulnerability, and letting the audience feel every pang of emotion alongside him. And then came the big reveal. Jasmine introduced her second husband on camera, a moment that had everyone gasping. His name, his personality, his demeanor, it was all revealed in that tense, emotional scene. The energy was palpable. Gino's reaction was a mix of shock, sorrow, and reluctant acceptance. You could almost feel his heart breaking in real time. The cameras captured every second, every expression, every word, and it was raw, authentic, and gut-wrenching. But here's what's really fascinating. Despite the sadness, there was also a glimmer of hope. Jasmine seemed happy, fulfilled, and at peace with her decision. Gino, while devastated, began to show signs of resilience, determination, and a willingness to move forward, even if it meant letting go of someone he deeply loved. And that, my friends, is the beauty of this story. It's messy, it's complicated, it's emotional, and yet, it's real life unfolding before our eyes. Throughout all of this, the online community continued to react. Fans created video breakdowns, analyzing every moment of Jasmine and Gino's interactions. Memes comparing Gino's heartbreak to other reality TV heartbreaks went viral. Hashtags trending on social media included #Jasmine2ND8 husband, #Gino heartbreak, and #90 day drama. The conversations were intense, passionate, and sometimes heated, reflecting just how deeply invested viewers are in these characters' lives. So, what happens next? That's the million-dollar question. Will Gino find love again? How will Jasmine and her new husband navigate this journey? And how will the fans react to the next twists in this saga? The answers are coming, but for now, part 1 ends here. With Gino's heartbreak, Jasmine's new happiness, and a community of fans left talking, debating, and wondering what the future holds. But before we wrap up today, let's take a moment to reflect. Life is unpredictable. Love can be messy. Choices have consequences. And sometimes the paths we choose lead to heartbreak, but also to growth, self-discovery, and unexpected joy. Jasmine's story is a perfect example of this. It's emotional, dramatic, and unforgettable. And for Gino, while this moment is painful, it may also be the start of a new chapter in his life, a chapter that we will all be watching closely. Thank you for joining me today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because you won't want to miss part 2, where we dive even deeper into Jasmine's new marriage, Gino's journey of healing, and all the twists and turns that 90 Day Fiancé continues to bring us. Stay tuned, stay dramatic, and as always, keep loving the chaos of reality TV. Hello everyone, and welcome back for the grand finale of this emotional roller coaster. Today, we're diving deep into the final, most intense moments of Jasmine and Gino's story. Moments that will leave your heart aching, your emotions stirred, and your mind racing. Yes, this is the part you've all been waiting for. The ending that ties together heartbreak, revelation, and the anticipation of what comes next. Let's set the scene. Picture it. The living room, the cameras rolling, Jasmine sitting across from Gino. There's a tension in the air so thick, you could cut it with a knife. Every gesture, every glance, every heartbeat seems magnified. Gino's face shows a mixture of hope and dread. He's holding on to the last shreds of what he thought was his future with Jasmine. And then, Jasmine begins to speak. Slowly, deliberately, She reveals the truth that has been hanging over their relationship for months, the truth about her second husband. As she speaks, you can feel Gino's world unraveling. His eyes widen, his hands tremble slightly, and you can almost hear the thoughts racing through his mind. How could this happen? Why didn't I see this coming? Was everything we shared real? And for the audience, it's impossible not to empathize. We've watched these two, laughed with them, cried with them, and now we are witnessing the moment everything changes. Jasmine's voice is steady, yet emotional. She explains that her second husband entered her life unexpectedly. He brought a sense of adventure, excitement, and emotional connection that she couldn't ignore. She acknowledges Gino's love, his loyalty, and the memories they've shared. But she also makes it clear that she must follow her heart. It's a moment of raw honesty, a moment that encapsulates the complexity of love, choice, and human emotion. And Gino. Oh, poor Gino. He listens, nods, and tries to remain composed, but you can see the pain etched across his face. Every word Jasmine says feels like 1,000 tiny cuts. And yet, there's also a quiet dignity in how he responds. He asks questions, trying to understand, trying to make sense of a situation that defies logic, emotion, and expectation. He wants closure, clarity, and yet, he also knows that this is not something he can control. The cameras capture every detail, the slight quiver in his lips, the tension in his shoulders, the tears welling up in his eyes. For reality TV, this is the ultimate moment. It's not scripted, it's not fake. This is raw, unfiltered human emotion, and it's gripping for the viewers. Fans across social media are reacting in real time. Tweets pour in, Gino looks heartbroken. Jasmine's happiness is heartbreaking for him. This is the most emotional finale ever. The conversation explodes everywhere. Now, let's take a moment to reflect on Jasmine's second husband. We finally see him on camera. His presence is confident, calm, and yet there's a warmth that immediately contrasts with Gino's vulnerability. He and Jasmine share moments of subtle intimacy, small gestures, quiet smiles, fleeting touches that show a deep bond. And for the audience, it's both beautiful and painful. Beautiful because Jasmine seems happy, painful because Gino, someone we've grown to care for, is left in the shadows of her new happiness. As the scene unfolds, the host-style narration must convey the layers of complexity here. This is not just a breakup or a revelation. It's a profound moment about choices, consequences, and the unpredictable nature of love. Jasmine's honesty, Gino's heartbreak, the contrasting emotions between them, and the reactions of friends, family, and the audience all converge to create a highly charged, emotionally saturated finale. We watch as Gino takes a deep breath, trying to steady himself. He reflects on the memories, the promises, the laughter, and the tears. He acknowledges Jasmine's feelings, even as he struggles with his own. There's a moment of silence, long, almost unbearable silence, before he finally speaks. His words are measured, honest, and tinged with sadness. I want you to be happy, Jasmine. I really do. But this hurts more than I can say. And Jasmine responds with tears in her eyes, a mix of relief and sorrow. She knows she has made the right choice for her own happiness, but she also feels the weight of Gino's pain. It's a moment of empathy, mutual respect, and emotional honesty, a moment that captures the essence of human relationships, complicated, imperfect, and deeply felt. Meanwhile, the audience is reacting as if they are part of the room. You can almost hear the gasps, the whispered "oh no's," the tears, and the sighs. Reality TV at its best makes you feel part of the story, and this ending does exactly that. It's immersive, heart-wrenching, and unforgettable. As the episode progresses, we also see reactions from friends and family. Some are supportive of Jasmine, encouraging her to follow her heart. Others are protective of Gino, consoling him, and trying to help him process his heartbreak. This adds yet another layer of emotional depth. It's not just about Jasmine and Gino, it's about the ripple effect of their choices on everyone around them. Now comes the part where tension builds even further. Jasmine's second husband is interviewed briefly, sharing his perspective. He expresses love, respect, and admiration for Jasmine, acknowledging the past she had with Gino, while also looking forward to the future they hope to build together. It's a delicate balance, and the host-style narration emphasizes the contrast between Gino's pain and the hopeful beginning of a new chapter for Jasmine. And just when you think the emotions couldn't run higher, there's a private moment between Jasmine and Gino, off camera. They speak quietly, exchanging words that are deeply personal, intimate, and reflective. They reminisce about the good times, acknowledge the challenges, and share a final farewell that is both heartbreaking and beautiful. The cameras don't capture every word, but the audience can feel the weight of this moment, the gravity of letting go, and the bittersweet nature of love lost. At this point, the narration must also address the larger picture. This story is not just about heartbreak or betrayal, it's about the human experience, the choices we make, and the consequences that follow. Jasmine's journey reflects the search for happiness, the courage to follow one's heart, and the understanding that sometimes love doesn't fit neatly into our plans. Gino's journey reflects resilience, vulnerability, and the painful but necessary process of moving forward after loss. Social media reactions continue to pour in. Fans post heartfelt messages, analyzing every facial expression, every pause, every tear. Memes circulate comparing this ending to other dramatic reality TV moments, and discussions break out about who was right or wrong. But for many viewers, it's less about judgment and more about empathy, understanding that life is messy, emotions are complex, and human relationships rarely follow a simple path. Finally, the episode closes with a poignant, reflective moment. Jasmine and her second husband share a quiet scene, a symbolic representation of new beginnings, hope, and the continuation of life's journey. Gino is shown walking alone, thoughtful, reflective, and slowly finding his own path forward. The imagery, the music, and the narration all combine to create an emotionally powerful ending. And as the host, I leave you with this thought. Life is unpredictable. Love is complicated. Choices have consequences. And sometimes, letting go is the bravest, most necessary thing we can do. Jasmine's story reminds us of that truth. Gino's heartbreak reminds us of the courage it takes to face loss and move forward. And as viewers, we are privileged to witness this journey, to feel these emotions, and to reflect on our own experiences in love, heartbreak, and growth.